Hello, hello. welcome. This is the second live stream. Look at that, we got 4 viewers. Hell yeah. That's sick. Hi. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, welcome back. This is our second live stream. We're going to be doing these every single week for you guys. It's going to be every Saturday. I said last time, but if the timings are a bit off for everyone, and so I'm doing these live streams at 3 p.m. In England, and I know that that's quite early. For example, in America, that's quite early. So if there's a different time that works better, maybe if I do it at 5 p.m, so it's a bit later on, so everyone can actually join. You know, let me know in the comments, things like that. I'm sure we can figure things out. I don't really mind doing it a bit later. But yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And basically, if you're new here, my name is Sam, and this is the channel Samster. And basically, on this channel, what I do is I make short films, fully animated short films. I do it in Unreal Engine, predominantly, sometimes in Blender. I mainly use Blender for my modeling, and then an animation, and then I bring everything into Unreal Engine, and I create these short films for you guys to enjoy. Some of which are fan films about your favorite franchises, some of which are original concepts, right? And so, yeah, if you're new here, welcome. I invite you to hit that subscribe button if that kind of sounds like something that you'd enjoy. We also make behind the scenes videos showing how we make these short films, and then also these live streams as well. So I hope you guys are all enjoying that. But yeah, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and I guess hit that notification bell if you want. I mean, I don't know about anyone else. I never have used a notification bell on any YouTuber. But anyway, moving on. I'm getting sidetracked. So about today. Well, first off, what we'll do is we'll talk about what we did last week. So last week, what we did is we modeled our ring. We modeled the boxing ring that we're going to be using in our Real Steel short film. It's the second one that I've made. I made one about a year ago. You guys loved it. It's got over 90,000 views now. It just keeps growing. It's at the moment, when I look at my analytics, it's bringing in the most views out of any other bit of content I've made. So thank you guys for the support. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest, I don't really enjoy it. I just see all the flaws. So glad you guys enjoy it. But yeah, basically what we're going to do is we're going to be texturing the boxing ring this live stream. So last live stream we were in Blender, we modeled it, and I'll show you guys that before we go into Substance Painter. Hello Metro Creations and Friends. Hello mate, thank you for coming, thank you for joining the live stream. But yeah, so today we're going to be texturing the ring. We're going to be using some reference like we did last time. Reference is super important. Not only is it important when you are modeling, but it's really important when you are texturing, especially if it is something that you are trying to copy. If you're making something original. Hi, could you do Noisy Boy if you can? It's funny you say that. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. I'm not trying to spoil things, and I think that's another thing with these live streams. Is I'm trying my best not to spoil things in these live streams. I'm being very selective with what I show you guys. That just kind of gets you guys excited, but doesn't spoil things. If that makes sense. It's not like a crazy plot. It's not like an hour-long short film. It's a short film. It's just all centered around a fight. But I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I think you're going to have a fun time. Hello, everyone. This is awesome. Thank you guys. So yeah, we're going to be texturing, and reference is super important because we have modeled the... You're the best. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, this when you're modeling something that has already been created, so like this ring, we are making the Crash Palace ring, by the way. So it's not like I've worked on the arena. The arena is not exactly the same as the arena you see in the actual Real Steel film, just because I don't really have the time to completely make that from scratch. So I'm trying to make it more resemble it, but the ring is a copy, and I'm getting the lighting similar, and there's going to be a lot of similarities. You guys are going to feel like it's Crash Palace, but it will feel like it's another hall in Crash Palace. Like, let's say there's multiple halls with multiple rings. It will just feel like this is another hall where they do fights, basically. So it still feel like it's part of the Real Steel world. You guys will still enjoy it, but because we're trying to copy it, we have to use reference. Reference is so important. We did our modeling and we just had all these different graphs and stuff showing how the ring was made, and now we're going to be doing the exact same using screenshots from the film to try and emulate the textures as much as possible. One of the things that we will be doing that is a bit different is I mentioned this last time, but we're going to be adding some logos onto the bottom of onto the base of the boxing ring, because I'm not sure if you guys ever watched an actual boxing fight, but there's a lot of logos. There's a lot of logos because that's how they make their money, right? And they have it on the boxing shorts as well. We won't put any logos on the bots, don't worry, but I want to put some like funny like logos on the base. So I've got a few that are ready to go to put on, and we'll mess around with those. I think that will be funny. And then let's see what else. But yeah, so, and then in terms of what we'll do in future live streams is, once we finish texturing it this week, next week we're going to be cleaning up some of the motion capture, because in this coming week I'm going to be doing a lot of the motion capture for the humanoid characters and some for the bots. And then what we're going to be doing is going into Blender, but also going into Unreal Engine and cleaning up that motion capture, making it a bit smooth, because you always have to clean up motion capture. Motion capture right out of the box is never perfect. There's always problems, whether it be maybe the arms look a bit weird, maybe they clip through, and by clip through I mean it literally just passes through. I'm sure you guys know what that means, but there's a lot of that sometimes, and we don't want that, right? We want it to feel as real as possible. We don't want you to be distracted by weird glitches and visuals. We want you guys to be just enjoying the fight, enjoying the spectacle. So we'll be doing that next week, so you guys will be able to see some of the choreography, some of the animation, a bit more of a teaser, but obviously there'll be no context in terms of story or anything, so won't be a spoiler, but you guys will have a fun time seeing that. That'll be fun. We'll play around with that stuff. I'll show you guys the process. And then, yeah, pretty much that is everything. Thank you everyone that's been tuning in. We are now, so now that we are finished with all of that, let me do this. Let me screen share. There we go. So probably all see my screen. I know there's a bit of a delay. I think it's about a 15 to 20 second delay, but we should be fine. But yeah, so this is the ring. We modeled this last week and we used the different reference. We're pretty happy with it, right? So before this live stream, I UV mapped it. I UV mapped the ring. Now, what is UV mapping? UV mapping is essentially where if I look at, let me do this. So if I zoom in on this thing right here. So if you look at this and I go and I hit tab, and you can see all of these. So these are all faces. And basically, when you UV map something, UV unwrap something, what you're doing is it's almost, you have to imagine it as if it is, what's the best way to put it? It's like wrapping paper. Think about it like wrapping paper around a present. You want it to perfectly fit around it, and then you unfold it and it's perfect, right? And that's similar to what UV unwrapping is. It's very boring, it's very tedious, which is why I've already done it, because I was like, you guys aren't going to enjoy watching that. This is going to suck. So we've got that done. And what I've also done is, if I come in here, is I've color coded everything. You're like, well, why have you color coded? Well, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to bring this into Substance Painter. And when we bring it into Substance Painter, because these are all color coded, Substance Painter is going to be able to see, oh, okay, this is one thing. Oh, everything that's red, that's one thing. Oh, everything that's purple, that's one thing. So when I apply textures, it's not going to apply it to everything, right? Because there's going to be a lot of metal and rust on the chains and on the corners, but there's not going to be metal on the base, because the base wasn't metal, right? And if I look at the reference here, so we got some awesome reference. If you look here, so there's like a lot of rust here on the corners and on the ropes, or chains I should say. And then you see here, it's kind of like this glossy brick. It's not metal, it's like this kind of like stone brick. Could be metal, I mean, who knows. But so because we've color coded it, if I apply a metallic texture to this part here, it's not going to apply it to the base. And it just is a great way to keep everything clean, everything organized, everything separated, and we can control the different areas. So that is what we've done there. Everything is UV mapped, everything is color coded. So all that leaves us, let me move that there, is we come in to Substance Painter. So here we go. This is Substance Painter. And so for those of you that don't know what Substance Painter is an incredible texturing software. It's owned by Adobe, so you might have heard of Premiere Pro or Photoshop or After Effects. This is in the same boat. It's owned by Adobe. It's a very, very powerful software. It has a lot of really cool procedural textures. So, and what I'll show you in a second is what we do is we bake the textures, right? And then what Substance Painter is able to do through baking the model is it can then predict where would dust build up, where would dirt build up, where would rust start to develop, where would moss start to develop, where would it be damp, where would it be dry, and it can procedurally play with this, and then you can go in and edit it further. But it's really cool, really powerful, speeds up the process immensely. And so that is what we're going to be doing with our model here. So in order to bake it, this is what we're going to do. See this little thing up here? It looks like a croissant. So croissant? Is it croissant? I think it's croissant. I just called it a croissant. Just make all the French really angry. Yeah. So here we go. So we're in here. We have our model. And I want to bake it. So literally I've got my normal. And that's just basically what a normal map is it tells the system where to cast shadows. It creates fake detail. So without me having to go in and model and sculpt little grooves and cuts into things, a normal map essentially cheats it by telling the software, oh, this is where I want you to cast shadow, this is where I don't want you to cast shadow, to create the illusion of creases, cracks, scratches, whatever. It's very useful. And then we've got different things like ambient occlusion, which is essentially just when something is closer to each other. See how there's more shadow as I bring my hands closer to each other? That's ambient occlusion. And the further apart they are, there's less ambient occlusion. So it's able to predict that, and there's other things in there, but I won't bore you guys with the details. So what we do is we hit bake selected textures. So what it's going to do now is it's just going to run through all the different areas, and it's just going to bake it. And you can see that it's recognizing the color IDs that I put on it. I colored the different parts of the model, and it's recognizing, okay, these are different parts. You can see up here it's got boxing corner blue, boxing corner neutral 1, boxing corner neutral 2, boxing matte, the boxing ring corner red, and then the different boxing ropes. So it's got everything for us to do, and it's just going through, it's baking everything down so that then we can start applying textures, and it's going to do a vast majority of the work for us, and we're just going to be able to focus on making it look nice. Which also I should probably mention is what we're going to do what we're going to do after we texture this thing is we are going... I like when... Gold Gum says, I like when... Oh, wait. I mean, like, when the robot's hydraulic fluids come out, it will get all wet or damp. Exactly, yeah. Well, that's the thing. So, what you'll know about boxing rings is, in like an actual boxing event, it's kind of this thing that happens often. But at the beginning of the night, the boxing ring is very clean, it's pristine, and then by the main event, because so many fights have happened in there, there's a lot of blood and stuff on the ground, right? So like it really lets you know, oh, there's been some wars in here. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put some like oil spills and hydraulic fluids and different things, you know, the robot version of that to add some realism to it, as if there's been previous fights and this is just the next fight in the boxing card. So yeah, no, that's a good point, and that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, so it's taken a while, but it's just because it's quite a large model. It's got a lot of detail. But once we finish texturing this model, we're going to export it all out. Then I'm going to bring it into Unreal Engine, and I'm going to show you guys what the arena is looking like. So we're going to see what the arena is looking like. We're going to see what these textures look like on the boxing ring in the arena with the lighting that I've set up. It's going to be very cool. You guys are going to get a very fun little teaser, and you guys will be the first to see it, because you guys are all here on the live. Anyone else that watches it after this goes up, once we're no longer live, they'll just be seeing it afterwards. You guys will be the first ones to see the arena. But yeah, so now it's done. It's baked everything. So we're going to hit return to painting mode. So here we go. So we've got our different labels here. And we've got some really cool things here called smart materials. And these smart materials, this is what I mean by being able to use those bakes we just made and generate some pretty cool realistic textures, right? So we have all these different ones. We have like dirty chrome, dirt, we have plastic glossy stained, we have steel rust surface, steel ruined, steel scratched, we have steel paint rough damage, and basically like we apply it, like I can just do this and it will, and boom, look at that, see? And it procedurally has figured out where the paint would start to fade. And I can even go in and adjust this further and make the paint even more scratched and damaged or whatever, right? So it's really powerful, really useful. But we're not just going to go in and randomly texture, because again, we need to use reference. Reference is so important when it comes to this stuff, because what you see in your mind's eye, I said this last time, what you see in your mind's eye is going to be different than what actually the thing looks like. So you have to use reference for both your modeling and your texturing. And even in animation, let's say you're animating something from scratch like an animal, the best animations are when they use reference, okay? Or when they use motion capture. Motion capture is great, and that's what I use because I'm a terrible animator. But let's have a look at some of these things. And I think what we're going to start with is we're going to start with these corners with the chains. And if we look at the chains and we look at the corners, they are covered in rust, right? This is old, this is dingy. So this is what we're going to do. Now, you might have noticed there's not a rusty preset in terms of these. Okay, so you're like, oh, well, what do we do? Well, it's fine. So this is what we're going to do. And we're just going to focus on one of them at first. So this is corner red. So what we're going to do is we're going to use steel ruined. And you're like, whoa, that's way too shiny, Sam. What are you doing? That's way too shiny. Don't worry, I know. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and I am going to darken it a bit. I don't like how bright it is. So we're going to bring everything down just a little bit. Just a bit. Ever so subtle. But yeah, exactly. It's very clean. And we don't want it to be this clean. So here's what we do. We go into the tab over, which is just called normal materials. These aren't smart materials, so you do have to do a little bit of work. Oh no. But basically we've got one right here. Metal rust. Perfect. Well, let's slap it on and ooh. Well, that doesn't look good, does it? It's just applied it to everything. Well, let's go back to the reference. It looks like it's a lot darker, and it also looks like it's a mix of rust and then showing the metal. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, this is what we do. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to desaturate it, and we're going to make it a lot darker. That's better. That looks a lot better already, right? And so what we're going to do here is we're going to use one of these smart masks. And these smart masks essentially tell the software, I want you to apply this texture as if it was, and then you fill in the blank. So we've got moss from the top. So it would, if we wanted moss on something, we would use this, and what it would do is it would procedurally decide, okay, where on this model is moss most likely going to build up on the top area, and that's where it's going to apply this texture, right? But that's not what we want. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come up here and we're going to type in rust, and we've got a few different options, right? We've got cavity rust, so that will find all the nooks and crannies and it will build out from there. We've got dirt rust. Oh no, that's just dirt dusty. No, we won't use that. Got edge rust. Got just normal rust. Rust drips. That could be cool. Rust ground. We don't have to worry about rust ground right now. And then surface rust. Okay? So we got these different ones. We're going to play with cavity rust. That's usually the one I use. If it doesn't work though, we can try the others. That's the fun here. We're going to experiment. So what we do here is we select our texture. So this is the one we're going to use. And then I click this square that has a circle in it. Click on it. And then right here it says add black mask, add white mask. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, basically, what it tells the software is everything that is white on the mask. And by mask, it means like it basically applies white to the entire texture. And the software understands that whatever's white is visible, whatever's black is not, and then whatever's in between, you know, that plays with the opacity. So what we do first is we add a black mask, and it completely disappears. You're like, oh no, don't worry, because this is where then we come over to our cavity rust, click it, drag it, and we drop it into there, and look at that. Now it's not super noticeable because we're going to crank it up, but see how it's naturally now. It's not just randomly all over the place. The rust is now coming from places that it would build from, where it would come from. But let's say we want to play around with it more, right? This isn't enough. Well, we can play with the global balance. See? I can bring it up. I can bring it down. I can bring it up. Bring it down. I want a little less. So that's looking pretty cool. I'm kind of liking that. Let's play around with scale, because this is big. So this is another thing that can add extra detail, right? So we play with the scale a bit, because scale is going to make this thing. Not only will it look more detailed, but it's going to look larger, right? If I scale it right down, let me do this. If I scale it right down to like that looks terrible. That looks like this thing is tiny, right? And that's not what we want. This is a big boxing ring that's got robots in it, right? And we want it. The textures have to match the scale of your object. If the textures don't match the scale of your object, it's like your brain stares at real life textures every day, right? We know that we really have a intimate understanding of reality when it comes to surface imperfections, when it comes to scale of different things, and the movement of different things, and how light reflects off different things. We see it every day, all day, right? And so we have to make sure that we get this right. Otherwise, you know, people are going to notice. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. The only problem is, when we go back to the reference, it's a lot darker than that. And I think that's just because this Steel Ruined is still too bright. So here we go. We're going to drop it significantly. Oh, it's auto-saving. I hate autosave. It's so annoying. Just freezes up your whole damn computer. Taking its time. There we go. Come on, Substance, what are you doing? Alright. So let's play around with this. Edge highlight. Ah, there we go. That's it. That was the one that was making it too bright. That's better. Look at that. Yeah, that's way better. That's way better. Okay, okay. So, let's play with the roughness as well. Because if it was this dirty, it would not be this shiny. So let's play with this. What's this doing? Oh, it does that. Is it? Oh, it's edge highlights. There we go. That's better. I like that. It's pretty nice. What do you guys think? You think this is coming along? Do you think that? I think that's looking pretty good. And again, the thing is, right, this, it's not gonna be the focus. You're gonna be looking at the robots, right? But we want it to resemble as much as possible. We want it to resemble the ring, the Crash Palace ring, as much as possible, so that the context, so that your peripheral, when you're watching the robots, but in your peripheral, the context matches what you're actually focusing on. So that's what we're doing here, and I think I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe some dirt. I feel like there wouldn't just be rust, would there? There'd be some dirt as well. So let's put some dirt on here. Look at that. Wow, that's way too much. What is it? This outside in a mud park? Is this a game? Is this a game you're creating? No, so I'm not making a game. I am making a short film. I would love to make a game. I do use Unreal Engine, so technically, like, if I was able to learn coding, then I would technically be able to make a game. The only problem is I'm not good at coding. I hate coding. So, yeah. I like 3D modeling. I like texturing, lighting, and working with motion capture. Like, that's my jam. That's what I love. I love telling stories and making films. And I'm not very good when it comes to filmmaking, which is why but hey, you know, never say never. If something were to come along, I'd definitely jump at the opportunity. I'm just not very good at coding. It's not my thing. Okay, so this looks way too dirty now. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to go into gradient, and we're going to drop the colors a bit. There we go. That's better. So you want, that's another thing as well with all your textures. When you're texturing something, you really want to make sure that everything matches. You want it to be easy on the eyes, right? You don't want it to be like some dark colors, some bright colors, some super saturated textures, and some not so saturated textures. You don't want that. You want things all to be on the same level. So when it comes to saturation, you want everything to be similar, contrast, just brightness, like different things. You want it all to be in a similar bubble so that it's pleasing to the eye and doesn't bring you out of it and doesn't distract you, right? This is supposed to add to the environment. This is supposed to add to the moment. It's not supposed to distract you. You're supposed to look at the robots trying to knock each other out. You're not trying to just stare at the ring, right? You want to catch glimpses of it. But like I said, the dirt is too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that, add a black mask. And then you see this ground dirt. And this is going to be great for planting this thing in reality. When I apply this, you'll notice it's not super obvious right now because I haven't cranked it up. But you see it's ever so subtly added dirt here. Now, obviously it's a bit too little. So let's crank it up. That's better. Bit of that. Scale? No. Might have to play with the gradient. Maybe I made it a bit too dark. Yes, I made it a bit too dark. You can't even see it. Can't differentiate. There you go. See that? So that's quite nice. It just adds this subtle bit of dirt, and because it wouldn't just be rust, right? If we're looking at something in real life, it's not just going to have rust, or it's not just going to have dirt. It's going to have different things on it, right? It's going to have dirt, it's going to have rust, it's going to have dust, it's going to have little specks of stuff. I don't know, you know, just look around you and you can see there's things. There might be hairs, there might be bits of food, there might be bits of dirt or bits of rust, you know, or like fingerprints on certain areas where someone's touched something that's covered in dust and they've accidentally wiped it away. You know, there's different things, so you've got to take these into account. So I'm kind of happy with how that looks, right? But here's one more thing. As you've noticed, this is called Boxing Ring Corner Red. Now, some of you might not know, but in boxing, there's a red corner and there's a blue corner, right? One opponent goes in the red corner, one opponent goes in the blue corner, and then you have two neutral corners, which you go into when, like, if you score a knockdown, so if you knock your opponent down, either just a full-on knockout, or if you just drop them and they try to get back up, the ref will point to a neutral corner and they'll go to the neutral corner, and you have to go to the neutral corner, and then they start counting to 10 to see if the opponent can make it up by 10, right? And so we want to emulate that here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add some like dirty chipped paint on this bit here, like some subtle it won't be crazy, but just something here, and then we'll do the same on this one over here. We'll add some blue, and then these two will just look like this. But if we go into our smart materials again and we scroll down, oh look at that, we got steel paint, chipped and dirty. Well, that sounds like what we're looking for. Well, there's a few options, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like this one just because it matches the kind of look. It matches the saturation, it matches the dirt, the darkness. I think it matches it a bit better. So let's slap this on, and ooh, well, that's not right, is it? That's not what we want. That's that's way too much. Don't worry, this is what we do. We come in, and I'm gonna make this a little darker and a little more saturated, because it was a bit of false advertising. That's better. So this isn't what we want, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to hit black mask again. We're going to come here, and let's say chipped. Is there anything? Paint. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. Paint old. Well, that's exactly what we want, isn't it? So we do this, drop it on. Oh, look at that. And it's like it's chipped paint that's come off because it's the red corner. Oh, look at that. Now, it's on the top of everything else, which isn't realistic. So what we would do is we would bring it here. Now, it becomes way less visible at this point, right? So this is where we come in and balance. See that? It just looks like, oh, okay, this used to look nice. This used to be this pretty red corner, right? But now it just looks like this. It's all broken down and beaten, and it's got dust, it's got dirt, it's got rust. And I'm happy with how that looks. What do you guys think? What do people think? Is this good? Shall we move on to the blue corner? I'll start moving on to the blue corner, and if you guys have any opinions, you let me know. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to select everything here. And we're going to go over here to the boxing corner blue. Will Hugh Jackman be in this? Yes. I'm very close friends with Hugh Jackman. Huge Ackman. If anyone's watched Night at the Museum. I think it's Night at the Museum 3. Huge Ackman. Yeah. No, it's going to be a continuation of the first one that I made. Unfortunately, you know, I was talking to Hugh on the phone the other day, and he said he was a bit busy. You know, he's had this whole, I think, was it this small project? I think it was called like Deadpool and Wolverine or something. Some sort of like small indie project that he's been working on with a company called Marvel, something like that. But he's been busy with that indie project, and so he couldn't make it for this. So we're just going to be using some 3D animated motion capture to create some characters. But yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. Sorry, that was such a bad joke. I just kept going. Alright. But here's what we're gonna do with this corner. So instead of going in and having to do that whole process all over again. Come on. We're lazy on this channel. We're not gonna do that. That's a waste of time. Why would I do that? We're just gonna do this. Right? We're gonna go into our corner, boxing ring corner red. Here we go. And select everything. And then we're going to go copy layers. And then we're going to go to the blue and we're going to paste layers. It's going to take a second. And voila. Well, that doesn't look right. This is supposed to be the blue corner. What's going on? Well, it's all right. This is what we do. We just come into our corners, into here, and we just play with the hue. Ooh, very nice. Look at that. And now we have red corner, blue corner. And it matches that whole vibe with the dirty rust and dust occlusion. But yeah, to to answer that question on a serious note, you guys probably, if you haven't seen the first Real Steel short film that I made, go into my channel. It's there. It's got, I think it's Hot Rod and Atom on the thumbnail, and there was a character in it that was like his Atom's coach in his corner. He's gonna be in it. Just 3D character. There's gonna be a few other characters as well. How many is there? It's 4. It's 4 human characters, like main human characters. There's obviously going to be the crowds, but we're not going to zoom in on them. 4 main human characters, and then 4 bots. The main focus is going to be on 2 of them. 2 of the bots are going to be fighting. That's going to be the main fight. But the whole short film is going to open with a fight ending. So it's gonna open, put some ideas in the brand video. Sweet, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll have a look at them. So what we're gonna be doing, wait, do you mean the logos when you say the brand video? Do you mean the ideas for the logos on here? He probably means that. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. But yeah, it's gonna start with a fight. It's gonna be two bots fighting. It's gonna end very violently, just to let the audience know, hey, this is what's happening. This is what we're going down in. It should be cool. Should be fun. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Let me. I like it. Atom Das as like Adidas. Noisy Nike. Sweet. Yeah, no, I'll definitely play around with those. I've got some pre-made logos for this stream. Because I don't have too much time to do this. I don't want to do this for like 2 hours like I did last time, because people get bored, right? I need to, know your audience, Sam. But yeah, I will definitely play around with those in Photoshop, and then what I'll do is I'll post on the community part of the YouTube channel here. You can go and have a look, and I'll I'll post some screenshots of what it's looking like with some new logos. I think it'll look funny. But we've got a handful today, but I'm kind of happy with this. Let's quickly move on, because I am rambling. I apologize, everyone, for my rambling. I know. I'll get on with it. Okay, so we're going to copy layers, and then we're going to go into boxing corner neutral, and we're going to paste layers. But we don't want it to be blue, so we're just going to delete that. So it just looks like that. Yeah, thank you for shooting your ideas on the video. I appreciate it. And if anyone else has any ideas, and it doesn't even have to be about this short film. If you guys have a short film that you want to see about a certain franchise, shoot them in the comments on any of my videos, or shoot them on one of my community posts, or anything like that. Because I said this in the last stream, and I want to say it again, and I'm going to keep reiterating this, but I want this channel to be somewhere where you guys as an audience, you have a say in what is made, right? In Hollywood, the fans very rarely get a say, okay? And so we get a lot of annoying remakes and these endless franchises that just never end, because we've got a bunch of uncreative people running a creative industry. And when you have a creative industry that is ran by uncreative people, you get terrible content. You get unnecessary remakes. You get endless franchises that just have no end in sight. Like, there is no the end anymore. Things just keep going. This person came back to life. Why? Because we ran out of characters and we have to keep this going, so we're just going to bring them back for the sake of bringing them back. And there's a lot of frustration. People want originality. People want just a story that has a beginning, a middle, and end. It feels like the industry has forgotten the first lesson in making a story, which is you need a good beginning, a good middle, and a good end. Preferably you have a good twist in there as well, right? But there's not a lot of that, and I want this channel to be somewhere where that can happen, where you guys can have a say in what we make, and there will be definitive ends to stories. There won't be these endless remakes, and we're just going to move on to the next project and make fun stuff. So if you guys have any ideas of things that you want to see, a franchise that maybe you've really wanted to see a short film be made and no one's made something yet, or whatever, right? Shoot me a message, whether that be on one of the videos that I post. Actually, just shoot it in the comments of this video, whether that be after we're live or in the highlights or anything. Wherever you're seeing this, shoot it in the comments, ideas that you have, because I want your guys' voice to be heard, and I want this channel to be a community where you guys have a say in what we make, and we can have fun with it, right? So anyway, sorry, I'm rambling again. Let's move on. Okay, we're going to paste layers. Okay, sweet. Here we go. So corners are all done. It's pretty good. So let's move on to this now. Let's start making this a bit more interesting. So let's go back to here. Steel ruined. Let's put it on the chains. It's going to take a second. Ooh, look at that. It's very shiny. We don't want that. We do not want that. Well, let's darken everything. Okay. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Edge highlights. This is the one, isn't it? This is the one that's making it. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. That's better. That's better. So we've got that. Now we're going to go through the process of... Well, actually, I don't even... I could probably just do this again. Come on, Sam. Take your own advice. So let's go in here. We find metal rust. Okay, here we go. We're going to copy it. Then we're going to come back to our ropes. There it is. We're going to paste. Et voila. No, that's not what we want. Whoa! Do that. There we go. There we go. That's better. But we don't see how it's a bit chaotic and a bit messy, and that's just because it's using the mask that we used previously, and we don't want that, right? So here's we're gonna add a black mask so it disappears. Then we're gonna come over here, just search dust, and the reason why I'm using dust is because there's a certain option in dust occlusion. There's an option here called grunge, and grunge just helps add, I don't even know if you can see it, but you can see, like, without it, it just adds like this kind of minute detail that obviously you're not going to see the tiny little grains of detail here, but when I zoom out you would notice it. So that's kind of like the point. So that looks better. Look at that. See? And then, like, if I hide it, see how way too clean that is, right? And then boom. It looks so much better. And it matches. Come here. See how that looks. See how much better. How much better? Is that English? Come on, Sam. See how that works. So yeah. That's good. We're happy with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy layer. There we go. And we're going to go into boxing ropes here. Paste layers. Let it load for a second. Yeah. Look at that. Very nice. Sweet. So it's coming together quite nicely, I would say. Look at that. Looking very cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to these bits of rebar underneath. And this is going to be pretty similar to what we just did. Let's probably just use steel ruined again. Yeah. How's that look? I mean, you're not really going to see it, are you? So I don't need to overthink this. And I think that's another thing is, and I said this in the last live stream, is you really like have a good understanding of like what really matters here. And it's because I don't have all the time in the world to do this, right? So I want to just get this done, but also I want to make it look as great as possible. And so I need to have a good understanding of, okay, what is the audience going to notice? What is the audience not going to notice? What is going to impress them? What is not even going to cross their mind, right? Because as an artist, it's very easy. Hello, hello. Oh, look at that. We got a celebrity in the chat. We got Atom. What's going on? I didn't know. They must have finally made a keyboard that's big enough for you, mate. With your fingers, you just obliterate every keyboard you hit. But yeah, like I said, you need to have a really good understanding of what is the audience going to notice, what are they not going to notice, and then just focus on the stuff that they're going to notice, because that's all that matters, and it's going to save you so much time. All right, as an artist, it is so easy to get bogged down in the details. I do it all the time, but you just have to focus on what is important. You want to get the project done. You have to get the project done, right? It is better to get something done and make mistakes than to never finish it at all and just keep working on it, right? Just get it out there, learn from the mistakes, and then you move on, okay? And you move on to the next project. Yeah, Charlie needs to get me a new keyboard. Yeah, man, come on, Charlie, come on, bro. You gotta pick it up. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add the rust again, and we're gonna make it desaturated and dark again. Very nice, like that. Gonna add a black mask again, and then this one we will use rust cavity. And you can see there it adds that stuff, spicy little details that you otherwise would not see, but it plays a part, you know. And then obviously we're going to crank it up immensely, and we're going to down the contrast a bit. Oh wow, 0.001. Yeah, that's all right, but I don't like how bright the steel is. This needs to be way darker. Like, these would be especially dirty as well, because this is on the underground, so like the amount of dirt and muck that would be getting on these things, like, it would not be pretty. So we're going to go through and we're going to lower all of this. That's better. We're also going to up the roughness. Because we don't want it to be too shiny. Edge highlights. There we go. That's better. That looks much better. And you'll notice, like, if I hide it, look how much of a difference. Ah, I'm the only one that brings you to life. Well, it's my pleasure, Atom. This is so weird and meta that we're just... it's my pleasure, mate. Alright, yeah. I'm doing my best to build your ring for your next fight, you know. I'm working on it. Okay, so, now that we've done this, let's add dirt. Because, come on, it's on the underside of the boxing ring. It's gonna do it. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Mate, welcome. Just working on a... Yeah, for anyone that's just joined, we are working on the boxing ring for my new short film. Real Steel short film. If you guys haven't seen Real Steel, it's basically Rock'em Sock'em robots, but if it was even more awesome. It's just giant robots trying to beat each other up. It's very cool. Max, Adam, what are you doing? Adam, sending best messages to my best animator friend. Thank you. Can't believe that I'm considered your best friend. I appreciate it. But yeah, we're working on a new Real Steel film, and we're having a lot of fun with it. Basically, we're texturing the ring, and then, and I've been saying this to everyone, so definitely stick around because you're not going to want to miss this. But once we finish texturing this thing, we're then going to bring it into Unreal Engine, and we're going to set it up in the arena, because I've made the arena. And I've got it all set up. I've got the lighting set up. I've got the really cool like smoke and all of that stuff. And we're gonna bring the textures in, and we're gonna see what it looks like. And I think it's gonna be pretty exciting. So definitely stick around because you're gonna want to see that. You guys will, if you stay in the stream, you will be the first ones to see the arena. Everyone else will see it once this goes up as just a video. Once we stop being live, but you guys will be the first ones to actually see it. So let's apply ground dirt, and it's not really done it, has it? What's going on? Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Mask editor. Oh, it's doing the damn autosave thing. I mean, look, thank you, Substance Painter. I appreciate the autosaves. I'm sure it saves me from all the different crashes, but I'm in the middle of something right here. So how's your day? Just waiting on this thing. Look at that. Got 3 people in the 3 viewers. Hell yeah. Thank you guys. I do mean that. Like, I joke around with it, but genuinely, the fact you guys are taking time out of your day to come and say hello, to come and watch some stuff, it means a lot. I do really appreciate you guys taking the time, and I'm excited to see this community grow. Honestly, I think this is going to be really fun seeing this community grow. Okay, I think that's done really. So now I'm going to focus on the canvas. Canvas. Let's look at the reference again, because again, this is what's important. We want to look at reference. Who do you love most? Atom or Noisy Boy? Oh, I've got to go with Atom, man. I've got to go with Atom. Listen, Noisy Boy is cool. Noisy Boy is cool. But dude got beat by Midas, and Atom dropped Zeus. So, I don't know. One seems a lot better than the other. Okay, so we're looking at the ground here, and it looks like some sort of stone texture. Yeah, it looks like some sort of stone. What does everyone else think? I think this is some sort of stone. I mean, it would make sense. It would be like stone or metal or something like that, because I mean, these are giant freaking robots that are fighting. So let's have a look at these different textures we've got here, and let's see if there's one that matches what we're looking for. So we don't want marble. Yeah, it looks like it's quite greasy. Yeah, stone, metal, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. Well, let's search stone and let's see what comes up, because I think it would be interesting. Ooh, because we can play around with this. If we apply this. Ooh. I mean, right now it looks a bit... that does not match whatsoever, so we'll play around with the colors. But let's see if we can... What was the color? It's like a pea color, isn't it? Ugh. Like a dark brown, kind of gross. Ugh. Like that? It's like... I mean, we'll have to play around with this stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's copy... Let's copy this. here. And then... Oh, dude. Atom. My man. Sorry, not my man. My bot. My bot friend. Thank you. Yeah, sure. No worries. We'll still be here. We're not leaving anytime soon. Dude, thank you. Thank you for the donation. Dude, that's... Wow. Thank you. I was not expecting that. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Shout out to you, Adam. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Very kind. I don't know if I like this color, you know. Why don't we do this? Oh, I can't. What if I do this? Oh. Okay. There we go. That's better, isn't it? I can just click drop the color. Okay. Dude, seriously, thank you. Thank you for that donation. That is very kind of you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't worry about it though. Like, I do this because I love it. Big brain, yeah. I got a humongous brain. No, I don't. I have a big forehead though. I have a big ass. Well, I just have a big head. I just have a big head. So I don't know if it's big brain or if I just got a big head. Guess we'll see. If this works, if this pays off. It might look better once I apply other stuff to it, actually. I think I might be overthinking it just because it is very clean. Because I do like the color. Like, I feel like I could walk... I always try, with my models, I always try and envision, like, if I walked into a room and I just saw it in real life, like, would it be believable? Like, would I be there like, yeah, this makes sense. I could see this. And so, that color, I believe it. I feel like that's a color that you would see, right? So, let's add some dirt to this thing and rust and stuff like that. I know rust doesn't technically go on rock, but it'll work, it'll work, it'll work. So let's make it look more like dirt. That doesn't work. So we're gonna hit black mask, and then this is where the dust occlusion one that I mentioned earlier, this really comes into play. This is awesome. Because look, grunge and mount. Oh yeah, look at that. See how it does that? Just adds these kind of disgusting surface imperfections. What if I told you that behind set, Sean Levy had the Blur Rock'em song? Hey, I would believe it. I would believe it, man. I would believe it. I would definitely believe it. Okay. I like that. That looks better, right? I think that looks better. To be honest, I think we're going to leave it at that. Now, you might be like, oh, but we need oil spills and things. Don't worry. I've actually got some of those set up in Unreal. We're going to do that in Unreal. We're going to set up those in Unreal. Just because I have better control, and I've already got some oil spills in the changing room, and I just want to use those on this ring because I think it will work. I think it will look nice. So thank you. Glad you think so. But we're not done, because now what I'll do is I'll do this very quickly. Just go all here. So while I set this up, so what we're going to do is we're now going to apply some of the funny brands. We're going to apply some of the funny brands that we came up with like what I said 1 hour ago. Yeah, you mean the logos? Yeah, yeah. So we got a few different ones that I played around with this week, but obviously I didn't get any ideas from people until quite late. I think people started like seeing that clip of me asking from yesterday, and I've been quite busy, so I didn't have time. But I do have some. I do have one. Do I have one? Hang on, I'm just trying to find the logos. There we go. So let's screen share again. So you got some ideas here. So what you do when you want to bring an image into Substance Painter is you click and drag and drop them into this area. It doesn't matter what page you're on, and this will then pop up, right? So then what we do is we label it. We have to let Substance Painter know what is this, okay? So it's a texture, and this is a texture as well, and it's gonna be imported locally just to this project file. So we're gonna hit import, and voila, there we go. There they are. So let's bring this in. No, we don't want it as a mask. Sorry. So you bring it in like this, and then you go base color. And look at that. That's what we want. We're going to bring it underneath the metal rust so that the metal rust is applied to it. Now you might be thinking, Sam, what is fizzy bubblich? Well, has anyone in chat, you might have not, has anyone here watched The Zohan? The Legend of the Zohan. It's an Adam Sandler movie. It's very funny. I recommend watching it. Well, not if you're young. The one problem I have is that Zeus to this day is being repaired for the fight we had 12 years ago. Hey man, I mean, you messed him up. It's probably most of his ego, to be honest. It's probably mainly just his ego. Because he got saved by the bell, bro. Come on now. We all know that fight was on its way. But anyway, there's a funny drink in that movie called Fizzy Bubblich, and it's like they put it on everything, and it's literally like jet fuel. They pour it on like their food while they're barbecuing it, and the flames like go as if it's got like jet fuel in it. And he's like undercover in New York trying to not let anyone know that he's the Zohan. So he walks around going, "My name is Scrappy Coco," and he comes across this woman. He starts working as a barber because he wants to make people silky smooth. And there's this drink, Fizzy Bubblich, that he loves, and he has to be undercover, and they give him one of the bottles, and he just downs the whole thing in like half a second. It's like, I think it's either sped up footage, or it's just like a CG, like they've just done it in post. And he downs the whole thing, and then he goes, "It's not for me." And it's like, really? You just downed it? And so I've kind of played with that, and he's like, "Fizzy Bubblich is for me." So that's the joke there. Now, as you might have noticed, and what I said earlier, it's a bit on the colourful side. It's a bit too colourful, right? So we need to match the colours. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to add a filter, and then I think is it colour balance? Highlights. Is it that? No. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just trying to remind myself how I did this. I think it was like, yeah, mate. Because you recommended them just now, and I haven't had time. you recommended them just now, and I haven't had time to work on them. So I'm just adding these, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to go into Photoshop, and I'm going to make one of those ones that you suggested. So don't worry, it's happening. I'm just adding these ones in that I made. So don't worry, bro. Is it filter? Saturation. No, you're fine. Don't say sorry, bro. It's all good. I get it. Is it gradient? Sorry, guys. I'm just... No, it's not. Just trying to remember how they do these things in here, because I forget. Does this work as a normal map? No! That just glitched it out. Okay. So, filter. And then color correction. There we go. I knew I'd find it. So we're just going to lower the saturation on everything, right? Because we want it to match. That looks way better. It is less colourful, right? You may be like, oh, it's not as colourful. But listen, that does not match at all. It would stick out like a sore thumb. So... This is not the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go into top view, but I just... Midas or Metro? I think Midas looks cooler, but Metro is... I think I've got to go with Midas there, guys. I think I've got to go with Midas. Metro's kind of like, he's only got that foot stomp. And then other than that, he's got nothing, you know what I mean? Okay, so this is what we're going to do now. Because, like, yes, we've added this. But again, it looks a bit too perfect, in my opinion. I'm like, so we got all this dirt, all this rust, all this chip paint, and then we just got this perfect logo. Gotta go sleep now. Good night. Good morning. No worries, man. Take care. Thank you so much for coming in, checking out the live stream. Appreciate it. The whole thing will be up as a edited down version, and then also the whole thing will be up. So feel free to watch those. But yeah, take care, man. Sleep well. But as I said, this doesn't look right. Right? So we're gonna hit black mask to make it disappear. And now that it's disappeared, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to use... There was a chip paint one, right? Paint old. Sweet, that's what we want. Oh, look at that. See? And now we can play with this. And yeah, look at that. That looks way better. Sweet, man. Take care. Albino or Biowar? I gotta go Biowar, and the only reason I'm gonna go Biowar is just because as a kid playing the mobile game, like that was one of the most prominent bots that one of the most prominent bots that I knew from the game. So that's the only reason. That's why I gotta go with that. That's better. See, now it looks like something that someone has walked, you know, you want it to look like this logo's been there forever and it's just been stepped on and stepped on and stepped on by these bots, creating this kind of scuffed look. I like that. I like it a lot. Nice. Fizzy bubbler is for me. I like that. I like it a lot. So this is what we're going to do. We could... What is it? There it is. Now we could... and it looks like me in the junkyard. Yeah. Exactly. We're going to duplicate this layer. And we're just going to replace the base color with this bad boy. And this is just a joke on Netflix. But it's not Netflix, okay? It's not Netflix. We are not getting sued. It is Flixnet. There we go. That's good. That looks nice. I like that. I like that. It looks looks good. No, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Cool. That looks nice. And they look, so now, because not only are the shadows, the highlights, and the color balance. Oh mate, we've already got your model. Don't worry, we've got your model and it's textured and it's ready to go, and I'll be showing it in a second, because when we finish this, we're going to bring this into Unreal, and then we're going to show you guys the arena. You'll be able to see what the arena is looking like, and you will see what Atom is looking like. You can see what he looks like already if you go and watch the showcase of the changing room environment. It's on my channel. It's not very long. It's like a minute long or something. And it just shows off what the changing room is looking like. I haven't done one for the arena yet. I will do one for the arena once it's done. But we're just going to finish this up, and then, yeah, it's going to be cool, man. We'll show it to you. But I'm pretty happy with this. Obviously, we're going to add... There was the two good ideas that... how do you say his name? Hang on 1 second, guys. Sorry. Goldgum 33. Yeah. He had some good suggestions for some logos, which I won't do during this live stream, just because they'll take up quite a bit of time, and I'm already almost at an hour and a half, which is a bit long. So, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is there. I think this is done. I want to darken this a little bit more. Do that. Ah, here we go. No, not. Let's saturate it a bit more. No. Ah. That looks better. Just needed it to be a bit darker, you know? A bit more interesting. And you see all those, like, all those highlights that are happening? Like, that's all going to be very nice once we bring it into Unreal. That's going to look very nice. Yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking. We obviously still got the 2 more logos, but I'll do those in my own time, and then I'll post some updates. What do you think of Real Steel 2 in the works? Is it in the works? I feel like there's been so many rumors for so long that it's in the works, and then like nothing comes to fruition. If it is in the works, that's awesome, but it's just I just hope they don't ruin it. There's a lot of franchises nowadays that like I said earlier, we're kind of in a time zone right now where there's no such thing as an ending anymore. It's just constant. Like, if a movie does well, you have to make another movie. Even if you had no plan of making another movie, you have to make another movie because it did well and we want money. And the problem with that is that then the narrative is never very good again because we weren't planning on another one. So if they make another Real Steel 2, that's awesome. That will be a fun watch. That'll be a real fun watch. But I just hope that they take time to make it a good story, because that was what made, like, when I was younger and I watched Real Steel, that's what made it interesting. That's what made me keep coming back, was that it was a cool underdog kind of story. And you can't you're in the studio. Oh, okay, cool. Well, there you go then. I guess it's confirmed. Okay. I think we're good here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit save. And what I'll do here, it's going to take a second to save. Sorry guys, just taking a second, and then we will go into Unreal Engine and I'll be able to show you guys what the arena is looking like, and we'll see what this thing looks like in the arena, okay? So stick around, this is going to be happening. Yeah, well that's kind of like, so the floor is a texture. It's a preset texture in Substance called Jade, which actually looks like this when you initially use it. Looks like this initially. That's what it looks like. But then we've gone in and we've altered it. And it is a bit on the shiny side. It's a bit too much on the shiny side, but I'll alter that in Unreal, like, because again, this is the beauty, is once we export these textures, we bring them into Unreal, but then once we're there, these textures might look different, right? My mind might change. Maybe something's a bit too saturated. Maybe something's a bit too undersaturated. Who knows, right? Maybe there's not enough contrast in certain areas. The beauty is, in Unreal, there's stuff that we can use to do that, to fix that stuff. So, and it changes, right? So we're happy with how this looks right now, but I'll probably bring it into Unreal and the ground might look a bit too shiny, right? But I've tried to follow the reference, right? We've got our reference here. And this is kind of what we were going off of, and it's kind of, it looks pretty shiny. I mean, you can literally see the reflections from his hands, right? So I feel like it would be kind of reflective, but we'll see. We'll see what looks best once we bring it into Unreal, right? And it actually is under all the lights, because right now we're just using a preset of lighting in Substance. It's not the actual lighting conditions that the ring is going to be under in Unreal, and we're going to do that right now. So what we do is we hit File, Export Textures, right? And we're going to go through and we're just going to turn off both height and emissive. And you might be like, why are you turning off height and emissive? Well, first off, none of these textures are emitting any kind of light, so there's no point in wasting exporting time and memory with that. And I also don't need the height one because I've got my normal map, and I just stick to using a normal map. You can use a height map. A height map essentially is like a cheat of a displacement map. A displacement map tells the object it's applied to, like, the darker it is, the lower it is, the whiter it is, the higher it is, or it's like the other way around or something like that. And a height map does the similar thing, but more through optical illusion. It's not actually displacing, so it's a lot easier on your computer. It's a lot less intense. So when you combine a height map and a normal map together, it can really look detailed. But again, we don't need a height map for this. It's gonna look just fine when we bring it in with these things. So just gonna make sure that all is right. Yep, it is. Then we're going to control where this goes. So where's it gone? Real steel. Boxing ring. Textures. There we go. Alright. I'm going to just close this out quickly. And I'm just going to go through and make sure that on anything... We want to make sure that the normal is on. So it does export the normal. And anything with a height map, we turn the height map off. And apply the normal. It's just so that this thing understands, oh, okay, you want the normal maps, you don't want the height maps, because otherwise it just won't show any of it. And that's not good. That's not what we want. This is a bit tedious, but don't worry. We'll get through this, and then we'll bring it into the ring. And this is going to be really cool to see it in its final form. Okay. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to showing more content when it comes to this short film, showing off Real Steel 2. It's not an actual continuation of the actual Real Steel film. It's Real Steel 2 because it's the second Real Steel short film I'm making. But I'm working with what I have, and I think it's going to be fun because you guys loved the last one. Like, the thing's got almost 90... I think it's got over 90,000 views, which is insane. Like, thank you guys for your support. It's really, really insane. So, I really appreciate it. And I think you guys will really like this one. It's going to be way better than the first one. The first one, ugh. I look back on the first one, and I am embarrassed. I'm going to be honest. It looks so bad in comparison to what I've been recently working on. Like, my most recent short film is called Deja Vu. If you haven't seen that, I really recommend you checking it out. It's a horror film that I made. And it's it's called Deja Vu. And I made that in Unreal Engine 5. And I think that's probably the best example of what my current work looks like, what my most recent work looks like, and what this is going to look like. The characters look much more realistic, the movement's more realistic, the lighting's more realistic, the textures are more like, just everything is upped in realism, because that's what I love to do. As an artist, as a filmmaker, I love to aim for photoreal. You know, some artists, they like going for stylized, they like going for that cartoonish look, or a kind of nostalgic pixel look of like an arcade game or a 90s game or something like that, right? I love photorealism. I love detail. I love making things look as cinematic as possible. And I've been working really hard at trying to get better at Unreal and just trying to get better at texturing and every element of visual effects so that things can look better and better. And I've still got a lot to go, right? I've still got a lot to improve on. There's still a lot. I think a lot of my short films now, they look like good video games, but I want to get to the point where they don't look like good video games. They look like the cinematic trailers for video games. When I was younger, I loved watching those. I would watch hours of cinematic trailers just because I loved how, like, I could tell it was CGI, right? You can tell they're CGI, but they look so cool. They look so cinematic. They look so photoreal, and that's what I want to oh great, Substance Painter isn't responding, love that, but that's what I want to try to achieve with my stuff, and I'm getting there. There's still got a lot to improve, but I'm getting there. Okay, so enough rambling from me. Let's do this. So we're gonna we gotta do this again. Okay, gonna uncheck these, then we're gonna export, then we're gonna open the Unreal file. Finally, sorry guys, I know I keep saying, oh, we're going to open the Unreal file, and then I just bloody open it already. I'm sorry, we're doing it now, Let me go all me. I'm just going to quickly export these, export them at 4K. Dilation Infinite is turned on, and Dilation Infinite basically just means it procedurally, like where I've textured, it then procedurally creates similar textures around it, just so there's no like hard cutoff, in case there's any errors with the UV mapping, like UV unwrapping. So there we go. I'm going to hit export. Okay. Well, I think you can tell it's exporting because my frame rate has just dropped. Yeah, I think you can tell. You can tell I'm exporting because the frame rate's dropping, but we're getting through it. It's just exporting. If you just joined, we're working on a Real Steel short film. We've been texturing the ring that we modeled last week, and next week I really hope, you know, tell your friends about this and come join and hang out with us next week. It's going to be at the same time. If the time does change, don't worry, I will post all about it. If you check out my Instagram, check out my TikTok, check out my Twitter, or X, I guess it's called. It's Samster_VFX on everything, including YouTube. If you follow me on all those different pages, you'll see all the teasers for things, you'll see the work in progress for things, and if there's any time changes with the streams, you will also find out about that through those. Okay, so it's usually 3 p.m. BST time, but if there's a different time that works better for you guys, let me know in the comments of this video, of this live stream, and we'll figure something out where people, it's like, it works better if you do it 2 hours later. But right now I'm just doing it at 3 p.m. because according to the analytics, that's where the most of you guys are online. So trying to grab you, get you over here, come and enjoy some VFX filmmaking with me. Okay, so that's all done, that's all exported. I'm just loading up the Unreal file now. It's just taking a second to load, but once it does, I will share my screen and you guys will be able to see how sick everything is looking like. But yeah, that's basically what's happening. We're doing it every Saturday, 3 p.m. Be live streaming. And next week, we are going to be working with motion capture. So this coming week, over the next 5-6 days, I'm going to be getting in the motion capture suit and recording a ton of motion capture for both the fight and for the humanoid characters when they're talking to each other, which is going to be a challenge because I'm going to have to try and in post. I'm going to have to, because it's just going to be, well, for the fight it will be me and my brother, but for all the humanoid scenes, it's literally just going to be me in a suit pretending to talk to people, and then I'm going to stitch it all together in Unreal. So hopefully I get the timing right. So we'll see. But once we get all that done this week, on next Saturday we're going to be cleaning up some of that motion capture, and you'll start to see me playing around with that, maybe even rendering out some shots and playing around with some of the effects and color grading. But yeah, we're getting close to this thing really getting rolling and getting done for you guys to enjoy. So this is going to be fun. We're going to have a fun time checking this out in a second, looking at the scene, and then, like I said, next week as well, doing that. And then we'll just keep doing that basically until Real Steel 2 is done, and then we'll go on to the next project, which I believe is going to be a Last of Us short film. I've been working on a Last of Us short film for months now with the concept. Only in the background though, so like nothing crazy has been done, but I've got a pretty solid concept. There's not going to be any dialogue, it's just going to be along to a piece of music, and it's going to be a character traveling across a state to get back to their safe house, and they have to overcome bandits and clickers and bloaters and runners and spores, and it's going to be really cool. I'm going to really try and just whack my mic. I'm going to really try and emulate the feel that we all have come to love about The Last of Us in that short film. I think it's going to be really fun. So we'll start working on that, and you guys will be able to see me working on that. So we'll start working on the environments for that from, you know, once Real Steel 2 is done, that's what we'll be doing. But yeah, we're going to be doing these weekly lives I'm going to be also releasing short films whenever I can, in between behind the scenes videos where I'm going to show you how I made these different things, which is going to be really fun. So yeah, it's I'm really trying to up my content on this channel. You know, we are, I believe, hang on, let me check, because we're not far away from 2,000 subscribers, which is 1,909 subscribers. That's insane, dude. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Genuinely, that's so awesome. I really appreciate it. It's really exciting. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. So insane that many people, like, I feel like when you're on the internet, it's really easy to like go, oh, 2,000 views, but like put 2,000 people in a room. You can't, unless it's a hall. It's like a big hall. 2,000 people is a lot of people. 1,900 people is a lot of people. It's insane that many people have subscribed. So the fact that we're not too far away now from 2K is so cool. It's so exciting. So genuinely, people, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I am upping my content. You know, that's why I'm trying to explain here. We're going to be doing a lot more with these live streams. We're going to be doing a lot more just like normal videos. As this community grows, I want to start trying to do some collabs with bigger YouTubers, where I had this idea. I don't know what you guys think of this, but I had this idea where maybe once this channel's a bit bigger, I reach out to some of the other bigger YouTubers, and using the motion capture suits I have, we create like a cinematic of them, right? Let's say there's like 3 or 4 YouTubers that are like in a group, and I go, hey, we're going to get you guys in motion capture suits, and we're going to make digital doubles of you guys that you can have a control of what they look like, and we'll create like a 2-minute cinematic fight where you 4 fight like a dark witch or something, and they can make a video about it, and then I can make the video about it, and it could be like, you know, like something fun, like, you know, they get to see themselves in, I don't know, let's say they love Skyrim, or I don't know, maybe they love Star Wars. And you're like, let's make a Star Wars fully CGI short film, and we'll put you in it, and we'll make a character that looks like you, and you'll be able to wear the motion capture suit, and you'll have the head rig on and do all the facial capture. But yeah, that's something that I think as the channel grows, it could be a really cool thing to play around with. But hey, we'll see how things go, how this channel evolves and grows. But I think that could just be fun, you know, like just a fun collab, and you guys would be able to enjoy that content, right? Wouldn't you? You'd be able to enjoy that, seeing a YouTuber that you enjoy in a cinematic as like a knight or a super soldier, or in a horror film or something, you know, or what, you know, or, you know, in their favorite video game. Let's say like it's a streamer that is really well known for playing a specific game, and like I collab with them and get them in a motion capture suit, and we put them in that game that they're known for, and make like a cool cinematic. That could be like a lot of fun, you know, fun for their audience, fun for you guys as well as enjoyers of short film cinematics and things like that. I think, you know, it's a win-win for everyone. Let's do a collab, says Atom. Dude, we're already doing it. That's what we're doing. Sorry guys that this Unreal map is taking so long to load. I don't know if any of you have ever worked with Unreal Engine, but Unreal Engine is so slow with loading stuff. It's so frustrating. It's at 95%. It's taken its time, but it will get there. It will get there. And then what we'll do as soon as this loads is I'll share my screen. You guys will be able to see the arena. And you guys will be able to see what these textures look like on the ring. And then I think we will call it there for the day. And then next week, like I said, we'll be working on the mocap. But I think this will be fun to the grand reveal. And if you are here watching this live, you are the first people to see this. And if you're watching this not live, hi, hello. If you come and join us in our live streams, you'll be able to see stuff like this. You'll be the first ones. I plan on doing a lot of these kind of reveals in my live stream. So if you guys come and watch live, you will be the first people to see it. Or not. Maybe you don't want to be the first person to see it and you can watch it afterwards. But yeah, it's just loading up now, but it's taking its time, but it will get there, and then we will see how things are going. In the meantime, what should I say? Well, there's I talked about it last live stream, but there's a new render challenge going around. I think today's the deadline, but it's a YouTuber called Punisher. It's Punisher with a W. Definitely recommend you checking him out. He's really cool. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite VFX artists, top 3. Incredibly talented dude. He used to work at Corridor, and he also has his own personal channel, but he's now fully focused on his own personal channel. And incredibly talented dude, and incredibly humble dude as well. I was able to speak to him on stream, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something. Awesome dude. Loved getting his feedback on my render for his render challenge. And I actually just yesterday posted the breakdown of that render challenge. So if you go onto my YouTube channel right now and you look for the Kinetic Rush, it's my most recent video that's up, and it's a breakdown of how I made my Kinetic Rush submission. And not only is that, but I also, for your enjoyment, rendered out some additional cinematics to add a bit more story to the render, because it's only 126 frames, so it's like 5.2 seconds, and you know, that's not that fun, right? That's 5.2 seconds. It's like, well, I barely get to absorb it. So I created like a solid 30 seconds before that render that you guys can watch. That plays in that breakdown. So if you go and watch that breakdown, it's called Kinetic Rush, Shadow and Fire, I believe. I think I called it. Yeah, Shadow and Fire, Kinetic Rush, and it will just show you what's just happened. Eh. Sorry, guys. I think it just crashed. It just crashed. What the hell? Goodness sake, what's going on? Now it doesn't want to do it. Let's try again. What? Sorry, guys. Technical issues. This is another problem with Unreal. There's so many technical issues. But yeah, if you guys go check out that, and if you could take a moment to maybe like the video and comment on it, I'd really appreciate it. But I made some additional cinematic elements in that visual effects breakdown for you guys to enjoy. I think it makes it a bit more interesting, right? You're not just seeing how I made it, you're also seeing some cool stories, some cool shots. But yeah, sorry about this, guys. It is loading as we speak. It's just taking forever to load. It's the only problem. What is going on? Ah, there we go. Oh, yes, let's go. Is it frozen? Oh. Okay, so it turns out it didn't crash. I just loaded the entire Real Steel map 3 times. That's why it's slow, because I just loaded the thing 3 times and it's like crashing under it. Sorry about that. I clicked it too many times. Oh, that's funny. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. I'm just setting it up and I'm removing spoilers because I don't want you guys to get any... Wow, it is really struggling. Let's go unlit. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to make some things invisible so you don't get any spoilers. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here we go. Let's go into lit mode. is it? There we go. All right, here we go. Is everyone ready? We're going to look at the ring in 3, 2, 1. Booyah. And there we have it, guys. Here is the ring in the arena. I know it doesn't look like much right now. It will look better. This is what it's looking like. And look at that. There he is. There's Adam. He's in a T-pose right now, so it looks a bit strange. But, yeah. Much more detailed than he was in the last one. This is the coach. You can notice he's much more detailed. His skin textures and everything. He looks much more realistic now. And then this is the other bot's coach. He's very detailed. Bit of an older guy. Went for the like kind of Punisher look with him. It's a masterpiece. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. Now, we've got the ring. But what the hell are these colours? What's going on? Well, this is what we're going to do. Alright. We're gonna... Materials. We're going to find them. Here we go. Here's the materials. And, that's not all of them, is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, this is what we're going to do. Oh! So, we're going to go here. Real steel. Boxing ring. Are the decals on the floor gone now? No, so they're not gone. These are just... This is just the color coding, so I haven't applied the textures yet, so this is what it just looks like. I'm about to apply the texture. This is where all the textures are, but you can see it's a bit on the disorganized look. You know, it's a bit chaotic. So what we're going to do... Oh... Well done, Sam. You bloody idiot. We're going to go here. Boxing ring. Textures. And then we're going to create all the different things. So we've got corner blue. Corner blue. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to put all the different textures into folders, and then we're going to import the folders into Unreal, and then we're going to apply all the textures onto the ring, and it will look cool. So that's what we're doing right now, just for anyone not understanding what's going on. That's what we're going to do. So, got corner, neutral, 01, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit tedious, but it does pay off, trust me. This is what people don't see when making stuff. So it's a lot of tedious bits when it comes to visual effects. There's a lot of tedious stuff. Like, I mean, I spoken to my dad a few times about different elements of what I have to do to make stuff work, and he's like, I do not know how you do that. That does not sound fun. And it's not. It's not fun, but it's the end result that makes it worth it. You're doing it for a reason, because it's going to make the end result look so good. And that's what makes it so fun. So, boxing, corner, red. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got boxing ropes. Boxing ropes 2. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost there, guys. Almost there. And then metal base. Sweet. There we go. And we got them all in there. So we do is minimize this. And then it's going to import all of the textures into Unreal. And it's going to import them all as in the folders, which is just in terms of like, let's make one called full asset, and we're just, because I don't want to, these are all the separate parts of the ring, and I don't really want to put up with scrolling up and down with that, so we're going to move all of those in here. It's going to take a second. But yeah, it's pretty happy with how it's looking. I'll show you guys around a bit of the arena so you can get an idea of what it is I'm going to be doing in future live streams and stuff as we set things up. But obviously, an arena needs people. Otherwise, you're going to be like, well, there's a fight happening, but they clearly didn't sell any tickets. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to fill all this area with people. We're going to fill these stands with people. If I go in unlit mode, you'll be able to see, so there'll be people in these boxes. There'll be people on these wooden boards, on this scaffolding, going crazy. You know, knock them out and all that stuff. There's going to be lots of people around here. It's going to be really chaotic. We've got the seats for the fighters to sit on. The coach will bring it in and place it in the corner in between rounds when they're fighting. And yeah, it's going to look sick once it's all done. So now that we've got this, right, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to double click on all of these and we're just going to open them all up, right? And the reason why they're these colors is because in Blender, we had to color code all of them, right? So that then once we brought it into Substance Painter, Substance Painter could understand, okay, this is a separate part of the model, this is a separate part of the model. Because if I had everything as one color, right? If I had everything here as blue, and then I exported it and brought it into Substance where we just textured it, Substance Painter wouldn't know that this is different than this, or that this is separate from this. It would think it's all one thing, right? And I would click, drag, drop, and apply a texture, and it would just apply to the entire thing. And that's not really... I mean, you can work around that. There are ways you can work around that, but it's tedious, and it can get a bit annoying. So I find it's a lot more interesting to do this. It just makes the process a lot smoother. Okay? So that's why I've done that. So I thought I'd just explain. There's artists out there that will do it a different way, but this is the way I do it. This is the way I like to do it. Okay, so first we've got boxing, corner, blue. So let's find boxing, corner, blue. Oh, there it is. Here we go. So we select all of these, bring it in, and let's bring over here, because this is what we're about to do. Okay, so we're going to go full. We're going to delete this. This is our base color. So we plug this into the base color. This is our metallic. This tells the software what parts of the model are metal. So we plug that into the metallic. This is the normal, and this is going to affect how... See that difference? So see how... give it a second. See how smooth this is? That's not realistic, right? Nothing's perfectly smooth. And the normal map, it's not displacing anything. It's just telling the light sources, I want you to cast shadows here, and I don't want you to cast shadows here, to give the optical illusion that this surface isn't perfectly smooth, when in reality, it's exactly the same, right? So I plug it in to the normal map, and look at all that. Look at all that detail, right? Oh, I'll hit save. Yeah, that's another thing. Always save your work, guys. Always save your work. There's one too many times has it crashed on me, and then I just lose it forever. Okay, we're almost done, guys. but this is going to be fun. We're just going to finish applying all these textures, and then you'll be able to see the final look of the ring. And then, do you know what? I've got a little reveal. I've got a little reveal for you. It's not a spoiler. It's, well, actually, I'll ask your guys' opinion. Do you want a reveal of who Atom is fighting in the short film, or do you want that to be a secret? Let me know in the chat if you would like to know who Atom is fighting, because that's the main focus, Atom versus someone. Would you like to know who he's fighting? Would you like to see the reveal of what the character is looking like, the robot is looking like? If not, no worries, I'll leave it as is. But if you do want to see it, I'll give you a little teaser. But yeah, anyway, what we're going to do here, because we don't... Tell me. So here, we don't want to just plug in the roughness map as is, because it's not going to look very good. No spoilers. Tell me, who am I fighting? Don't worry, I won't do spoilers then. If there's people that don't want spoilers, I won't do spoilers. But you'll be able to put it together. If you actively look through my Instagram page and you look through my TikTok page, you'll be able to figure out who Atom is fighting. So if you do want to know, do that. Follow me on those pages and you'll be able to figure it out. If not, just don't put in any effort of trying to find out and it won't be spoiled for you. So what we need to do is we need to set up the roughness map so that it's not too shiny, right? So if I put it at 0, look how shiny that is. And if I minimize it and I hit apply, do you see how shiny it is? That's not right. So let's put a 1 in there, yeah? Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that's a little better, but it's still very shiny. So what I find often is 3 or 4 works quite well. But because it's metallic, we want it to have a sheen to it. So this is where zooming in on it can be quite nice. I like that. I think 3 is the way. And then what we do here is we just Control C to copy this, so we can just bring this into every other thing. So this is now done. We're now going to move on to the next texture once it finishes saving, which is boxing corner neutral 01. I know this is tedious, but I'll speed up now. I went slowly through this one so that you guys could understand what it is I'm doing, and now I'll just go quickly through the rest and we'll have a look at what the ring's looking like. Okay, so boxing corner neutral 01. Is it 01? Yeah, neutral corner. Plug that in, plug the metallic in, plug the normal in. And the thing is, like, what I'm doing with the roughness, where I'm using this multiply node, and then I'm plugging in a value node, and then I'm plugging that. I can do that with everything else. So, like, if I decide, the normal map isn't doing it for me, I don't really like how it looks. Well, that's fine. I can crank it up. Look at that. That's looking nice. What do people think? I think that looks pretty cool. It really matches the feel of everything else. It feels really, feels really dark and dingy and broken down. I think that's coming along very nicely. So boxing corner neutral 2. Okay, let's come in here. Plug that into the base. Plug that into the metallic. Plug this into the normal. Ah, nope. There we go. Woo. Okay. Plug that into there, into the roughness. click apply. You want to make sure you click apply. If you put in textures like this, you've got to make sure you click apply, because otherwise it doesn't apply it. Yeah, sweet. Glad you think so. Ah, here we go. What you were saying earlier about the decals of the boxing mat. So we're about to put the boxing mat textures in. Yeah, I like it a lot. So, boxing mat. There we go. Yeah, like I said, I will add some additional logos. This is just for this stream that I'm showing you what this is looking like. I will add some of the ideas that we had people come up with. Hey, look at that! Oh, I'm really happy with that. Look at that, yeah! What do you guys think? Do you think it's a bit too shiny? Think it's too shiny, or do you think it's just perfect? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Look, you can get like a very subtle, there's a very subtle sheen, which I think works. And we will add some oil spills and stuff as well, onto it as well. As you see these oil spills here and here, we're going to be adding those on top of this as well. I like that. I really like how that looks. Yeah, it looks cool. All right, boxing corner red. Here we go. Almost done, guys, and then you can get a good idea of what this is going to be looking like. So which one is this? Boxing ring corner red. Here we go. In the red corner, weighing 2 tons, is Atom. I forget his actual weight, but I'll make sure to get it right. Don't worry. I have all the details, I just don't have them on me right now. But I'm gonna make sure everything's accurate. How's that looking? Nice, look at that. I mean, you can't really see it because he's in front of it, but it works, it works. Yeah, it became less shiny once we imported it in, which is great. It means I didn't even have to play around with it. Yeah, it's really nice. Because I usually have to worry about that. Usually things that are... when you have things that are like a little shiny in Substance Painter, you bring it into Unreal and it's like 1,000,000 times more shiny, which is not good. So I'm kind of surprised that worked so well. That's really good. Happy with that. Okay, which one's this? Boxing ropes. Boxing ropes 01. Okay, almost done, guys. Move that over there. Move this here. Boxing ropes 2. There we go. Put that in there. There we go, apply it. Nice, look at that. That looks very nice. And it matches really well, like the saturation and everything. Obviously, we still got the base that we got to do, but I really like how that looks. I like as well that there's a bit of a contrast between the base of the mat and then the ropes, because it allows you to make it out. You're able to understand it. This is looking good. This is coming together a lot better than I thought it was gonna. I thought there was gonna be a good chunk of fine tuning we were gonna have to do, but it's coming in pretty well. The last thing here. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Sweet. And then, so that's all looking nice. Now, the last thing that we have to do before we call it a day is this. The oil spills that I mentioned before. We want to add these. So it looks like there's been a murder. No, there's been an... I can't say that word, can I? Can I say that word? I don't think I can say that word on YouTube. I was just being Inspector Clouseau. A murder? I'll shut up now. I'll shut up. Bloody hell, Sam. Ugh. Just keep digging a deeper hole, mate. I'm duplicating these, by the way. If you select something and then you hold the key Alt down, so you see here. So I want to duplicate this, right? But I don't want to do the whole tedious process of copy paste, copy paste. So what I do is I hold down the Alt key, and then I click on it and I move it, and boom, it's duplicated. Really simple, really easy, works. Keep adding these blood stains. They're not blood stains though, they're oil stains, Sam. It's looking nice. Just looks like there's been a fight in it, you know what I mean? What do you guys think? I think it just adds something a bit more interesting, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I might make them a little less visible. There we go, that's better. I think they're a bit too visible. That's nice. There we go. Subtlety is key, people. Subtlety is key. Glad you like it. Oh, yes. That's what we want. This little splatter. Put that there. And move this here. And move this here. And then duplicate this over here. You can get away with reusing assets. It's quite awesome. You can just get away with reusing assets if you just duplicate, rotate, and then play with the scale. Like, people don't notice. It saves you a huge amount of time. And there, yeah, I don't like how there's one in each corner. Let's make this wider. Let's make this less obvious that it's... There we go. That's better. Look at that. Looks like there's been some brutal fights. Yeah, the logos are washed out quite a lot. But I mean, that's intentional, because like Fizzy Bubble is basically jet fuel, and Flixnet is in a lawsuit against Netflix because they blatantly have ripped them off. So, you know, they can't really afford to get their logos renewed. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but this is the changing room. So we've got Atom while he's powered down. We've got the coach. We got the promoter, the manager, coach, and Atom. And this is the changing room. This is the door that leads into the room. Some American flags and big lights and scaffolding. This will be full of people. And yeah, me too. I like it that way. I think it looks cool. I'm pretty satisfied with this. What do you guys think? Are we happy with this? Are we happy with how this ring looks? Obviously, we are going to add some more logos. There were some cool suggestions earlier in the live stream, so I'll definitely add those. You'll see those. You'll see one go there, and you'll see one go there. But for now, we've just got these two logos. I think this is kind of funny. If you have watched the Zohan, you will know what I mean by Fizzy Bubblich. If you haven't, check it out. It's quite funny. It's completely chaotic. Makes absolutely... Like, go in expecting it to make absolutely no sense and just laugh at how crazy it is. You'll have a good time. But in terms of actual storytelling, it's one of the worst films on the planet. But in terms of comedy, it's great. It's chaos. It's just chaos. But what do people think? Are we happy with this? Do you think it's good? Do we think anything should be changed? Hang on, I'm just gonna do this really quickly. I'm just gonna test something, okay? And then we'll see if this works. This would be kind of cool. Just seeing. Oh, it works. Yeah? Sweet. So we're all happy with it. We're happy with how it looks. Sweet. I got a cool little thing to show you guys. Give me 1 second while I do this. Let's see if this works. The rays from above, yeah. Well, let me go back to screen share. Yeah, and that's because I've added some volumetrics so you can see the rays. I think it works well. And the beauty of it is we can play around with the lighting shot by shot and make it look better. But let's see if this works, because it'd be kind of fun. Guys, check it out. It's a game. I'm playing Unreal. Oh no, I can just phase through him. Okay, never mind. There you go, guys. Look at that. Got your ring. I can't get out. I'm stuck in the ring. Ah. Okay. But yeah, there you go. We have got our ring. We have got our environment. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I think in terms of the live stream, I think that's everything. Thank you so much everyone for coming by, for hanging out with me while we textured this ring. I tried to go shorter today and we ended up pretty much going the exact amount of time that we did last time. So dubs in the chat everyone. We spent over 2 hours doing this. Great time. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining. Atom, I really appreciate the donation. That was very, very, very generous of you. You did not have to do that. So thank you so much. And yeah, guys, we're going to be doing this every Saturday, 3 p.m. BST. Every single Saturday, we're going to be here. We're going to be working on short films, whether it be this one or any future ones. We're going to be working on it. Check out my most recent video. It's my visual effects breakdown of my Kinetic Rush submission. It's a big render challenge. I'm trying to get into the top 100. I probably won't, but hey, it'd be awesome if I did. Check it out. It's called Shadow and Fire Kinetic Rush. It's on my channel. Show some love there. I'd really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is insane, but would just be awesome to be able to reach that goal and just see this community continue to grow. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking your time to come and join me in this live stream. And yeah, check out the channel. I've got a lot of short films on here. I recommend Deja Vu. That's been submitted to a couple of film festivals. We're going to see if it wins any awards, and I'll keep you guys updated if it actually gets into any film festivals, because you might be able to go and see it, and I'll definitely be there watching it live. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your afternoon, your morning, whatever time it is. And until next time, in a bit, lads.